Hi, it's Bella Flavor and Co from AriesFireAstrology.com. Today I'm going to make a Pluto video for you and explain in synastry two birth charts, like especially in some kind of a romantic thing going on with someone, married, flirting, dating, in a serious committed relationship, whatever, anything like that. This isn't going to necessarily be for other kinds of relationships as much. So, in synastry, when you have Pluto, Pluto is never going to be like the two easy aspects, like a sextile and trine. They're not going to be like really triney and whatever, like the moon and Venus would be or something. That's going to be really Trina's harmony. The two easy aspects in Pluto are going to be still really Pluto-ish, but anyway, but for this video though, I mainly want to talk about like when you have a Pluto situation going on with someone, and when you have that, it's going to be one of the three major aspects, the difficult aspects, square, opposition, and the conjunction is considered one of the difficult aspects too. So just to show you here, okay, so this is an opposition, Gemini and Sagittarius here. Pisces and Sag is a square. Conjunction is like two Pisces or whatever. So like Capricorn and Libra is a square. You get the point there. Like Taurus and Scorpio is in opposition. So anyway, just wanted to show you that, and you can have an out of sign aspect too. If you know more about astrology, that's more advanced, so if you know what I'm talking about, then fine. But if you don't, then I'm not going to go into big detail about that here, because I want to just get on with the video and talk about what Pluto really is about. So yeah, the three outer planets are generational. First of all, Uranus is a lesser, like from year to year, from 80 something to 90 something, all the people born in those years, whatever. So Uranus is, shorter, whatever, but and definitely Pluto has more years in it of one generation that's going to be in a certain Pluto in, Taurus or, Virgo or, Aquarius or, Leo or, Gemini, all those generational things going on. It's gonna be Pluto is gonna be different for each generation in the synastry. Some are gonna like it more than others, and I can tell you my generation is Scorpio. Pluto ruled Scorpio. So yeah, basically Scorpio loves it, and the Scorpio generation, all of us people love it. And I don't know. There are other ones that don't like it at all, probably, or in between. So you gotta, look at that too, and you have to look at like the sign that it's in, like the other, like not just a conjunction, like Scorpio conjunct the sun, which would be two Scorpios, but like if your Pluto is in Scorpio and it's conjunct someone's, or the square someone's whatever planet in, whatever, or definitely if That's not as much of a good example either, but like, or especially in opposition, like Taurus, you know, each zodiac sign is gonna give a little bit of a different flavor to it, you know, because you gotta, know what each just zodiac sign, like is like. The fixed signs. Okay, so um, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, Libra is cardinal. That's like initiating energy. Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio is fixed, so that's like maintaining energy, being stubborn or staying the same or being loyal. Um, for Pluto, the whole being loyal thing, that's beside the point. It's kind of Fruit Loopy. Pluto is it's not whatever. Anyway, so and then Gemini, Sag, Virgo, Pisces is mutable, changes energy. So those zodiac signs can change from day to day and be different from the fixed. It can kind of play out differently depending on what aspect it is. But so we're going to talk about the square, opposition, and conjunction today. And it's not so much each individual, because the five personal planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, we're not going to talk about each conjunction, square, and opposition with Pluto to all of those. It's just a general kind of video on what Pluto is about, but I'll kind of go through a little bit of that too. So first of all, Pluto is it rules Scorpio is co-ruled by Mars and Pluto. So Pluto is the 8th house. It's all of the I made an 8th house video just recently. So if you want to look at that video and see what the 8th house is all about, I explained it with details of a movie that I had watched. So anyway, it's about when you're dealing with the 8th house. Sorry, my hair is just really bugging me. Anyway, sorry. When you have an 8th house situation going on, or Pluto's transformation and growth for one thing. So whenever you have a situation with someone where you're like on one side or the other of the transformation or growth, like excuse me if you're saying something, I don't know if this is gonna sound horrible or not, if you're really screwed up in head, or if you're not, that's on one side or the other of the transformation and growth part of Pluto. But so anyway, whenever you're at that point where you're gonna go past that point, when you decide to unscrew your head up and keep going and then do the actual real transformation and growth that Pluto in the 8th house can help you with. That's what we're going to talk about today. The 8th house is transformation and growth. Pluto is, but it's not just that, which I will go on with what Pluto is about. But anyway, I just want to say that first of all, we're not going to talk about a bunch of transformation and growth things like what happens when you actually do that, like the 8th house. I kind of made the 8th house video about that more. So, but I want to get across to you today about Pluto is like when it's I mean, you definitely can have one person or two people in the synastry situation where they're past that point of transformation and growth. When there's the breakthrough of getting past all the crap that you have to deal with to get, your emotional crap figured out and straightened out and have a higher energy level. You can have that kind of a person that has gone through a bunch of crap and dealt with it in Pluto synastry, but it just depends on how the contacts happen. Whenever you have a situation with someone where some Pluto aspect is happening, you're gonna just have to see how it happens for you to, whatever. You're gonna have to like be honest with yourself first of all to know, like what you can handle about it and what you can't, or what's gonna happen or what's not gonna happen. Because I mean, it just depends on the situation and the time and the place and the two people that are involved in it. What all is gonna, really happen with it. Because okay, so Pluto is transformation and growth. It's power struggles. It's Pluto's manipulation and like controlling, and it's like the hidden things, buried crap that you have, psychological crap that you aren't dealing with, that you bury, deep down inside you, that you don't want to deal with. It's all that garbage, throughout life that happens that can screw your head up. It's in synastry, definitely it's like secretive. Scorpio is secretive. It's like secretive, like people, depending on the situation. I've had different Pluto situations with guys, like synastry, I've had mostly Uranus and Pluto, not as much Neptune. I mean, I have a lot of Pisces in me, but it's not so much of a thing. Other people have had probably Neptune more, or whatever. The one I have like extremely the most probably is Pluto a lot of the time, but I have Uranus too with guys. So anyway, that can really play a part in the synastry. Um, so let me just back up here. In synastry, when you go to an astrologer and they look at your synastry, um, I would look at karma, which can make a situation not last sometimes. A lot of time it kind of does, but it can last. Pluto contacts can too, and especially if you have Saturn or something, and Jupiter and the other marriage aspects, indicators. But anyway, um, you gotta look at if there's Uranus in this situation, no Saturn. Pluto might not, especially if it's some kind of a maybe mutable. Pluto might not be as strong, but if it's Scorpio or one of the fixed signs, maybe it could be stronger. Especially Pluto can be a long-lasting situation if you have Uranus, um, like off and on thing, like some people have had like 7 years and off and on stuff going on with them. Especially if you have like Saturn, which stabilizes the relationship or whatever it is, and you are with a person for years and years and years, or if you're married, you gotta look at all of that to see, like how much of a thing this is, gonna be like for you. Um, and especially some aspects are more intense than others. They're all fruit loopy, Pluto crazy stuff going on, but each one I've had different Pluto synastry with guys where like I noticed the different planets happening. So they're all crazy, but um they're all kind of different though. I notice a difference in each kind of Pluto situation. Um, I can't say every single last one specific, really specific details to explain the huge difference, but I can with some of them, several of them. So anyway, like I was saying, Pluto is secretive. Like if you have a situation where you're not um married, maybe um if you're dating or if you're flirting with someone on social media, or if you're, you know, if it's not some stable, like in the middle of like a marriage kind of a thing going on, if you haven't really gotten together like permanently, or officially, or that kind of thing. The secretive thing can be like where you don't want to admit it, don't want to like tell a bunch of people, or Pluto can make you really secretive, like just really want you. It is unconscious. Pluto's really unconscious, like when it comes to like uh you know maybe like the person, the personal planet person, that can a lot of times be the more secretive one, because they're the one that's kind of in Pluto's web, whatever. So anyway, whatever, yeah, the secretive thing can be like where you don't want to really admit what's going on, but Pluto, and especially the difficult aspects, like what we're talking about what this video is really about. It's extremely attractive. It's sexual attraction, is magnetic attraction. It's powerful attraction. Pluto is extremely powerful. It can last for months and years and years and years. I mean, it's very powerful. Especially depends on the two people. The situation. Excuse me, I had a hair on my mouth. So yeah. Anyway, Pluto can be really. It's a very powerful, long-lasting situation. So it, yeah. It's secretive, and it's like when if you have someone that is afraid to get in a relationship with someone, sometimes some Pluto aspects can be that way. Not all of them, not in every situation, but or if you're just flirting with someone, it can be very secretive where like the people or one person doesn't really want to admit what's going on, and especially if you don't really know what's going on. Because Pluto's really unconscious. It's like really Pluto's really powerful and controlling, and like it keeps you um locked in this web with a Pluto person, and it's really can be really fun and exciting and crazy, and it can be like really kind of tons of things like make you feel like, depending on the time, the situation, how long you've been in this with someone, it could make you feel like you can't get out of it. It can make you feel like you're trapped, or it can make you feel like you're giving up your power to the Pluto person, or sometimes it can be a both way kind of a thing. Definitely can be. Like you both kind of have your own manipulative things you're doing or whatever. Definitely both people can be manipulative and wanna keep each other in their whatever, like not let them go or whatever. So yeah. Um Let me see. Pluto is like, yeah. No, I lost my train of thought here. Oh, I should have. I don't write everything down because I know what I'm talking about. But then I get sidetracked and forget what the things I want to say. So if I forget them, I'll put it in the description. But anyway, so Pluto is manipulative. It's controlling. It's jealousy. It's possessive. It's it. I for one though, I love Pluto. I'm not afraid of it. My whole entire life and everything about it is Pluto, and uh, my head's not screwed up like it was when I was a child growing up my whole life. Like astrology really has helped me unscrew my head up uh tons, and these different kinds of Pluto situations I've had with guys, throughout you know my adult life has helped me to unscrew my head up because that's what Pluto can do. But yeah, I love Pluto though. It's one of my favorite parts of synastry. It's not my favorite because I don't have one favorite, but it's one of my favorites. So if you like it, cool. If you don't, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, so whatever. But I love it. So anyway, um, yeah. But it's what else? Now I know I'm forgetting some details I wanted to say, certain kinds of explanations, but anyway, you get the point though. I mean, whatever. That is what it is. It's so like I was saying, it can. Oh yeah, the one thing really, definitely like outer planet situation. Any of the three outer planets. It really, any of them. Like I said, with the three um difficult aspects in synastry, the three outer planets and the five personal planets. That's what this is. That's a situation. It takes one to make a situation happen. It can be like where it's like one aspect or four aspects. That can the more you have, it's more of a situation going on. One aspect can be depending on the synastry. It could be a little bit that way, or it could be a lot. If it's a little bit, I say it's an aspect. But if it's a lot, I say it's a situation going on. It's not just an aspect then. It's your whatever life. And so um it can make you do things you don't think you'd ever do. I'm serious, for real. It does make people do things, act in ways they don't think they'd ever act or that they never have. I mean, it's powerful. Like, if you don't believe me, I mean, seriously, like, have a Pluto situation in your boots. Oh wow, that's what she meant. I've I've seen it happen over and over again, and I've been in plenty of situations where we're both acting crazy and like never thought you'd act that way, but it does. So it's fun for some people, and some people don't like it. So anyway, um, yeah. In each two people's synastry is gonna be, different depending on all the other aspects in the synastry. So whatever. I don't know, but um, so yeah, that part of that. No, what else was I can't remember every single thing, but anyway. So yeah, there's some like any of the three aspects with the sun is going to be a little bit of the same kind of things going on. It can be kind of different for each though. So I don't want you to get the idea that each different three aspects is the same, because it's not. An opposition is when you have an opposition, like opposing each other, like different opposite attitudes or personalities or ways of thinking or feeling or seeing a situation. Conjunctions when it's like the same, you know squares, that thing where it's like tension on that paper there I showed you. It's gonna be some same and some different. And I'll tell you, like, with Pluto conjunct Mars, that's gonna be so much different than a Pluto square Mars. Pluto conjunct the Sun or Pluto square the Sun might not be as much of a difference. The Sun's always gonna be like, warming up Pluto. Pluto is an outer planet, so it's cold. It's not cold like Saturn is, because Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, which is Capricorn's the most unemotional and Aquarius is the second unemotional. So it's not cold like that, but it's Pluto. It's cold because it's an outer planet, and it's because it's garbage that you don't want to bring up and deal with. But anyway, so the sun always, brightens up everything and, makes you feel seen or loved or, So anyway, so with the sun though, that can be a soulmate aspect. Any Pluto thing can be really, I think. Especially the sun though, because if you get in a relationship with someone where you have Pluto square Mars or Pluto square the Sun, a lot of times when you're first around the person, as time goes on, you kind of sort of quickly get really comfortable with them, and then you're yourself a lot, and then when it really gets to that point where, like I said, when it's that point where you're gonna like just go on the other side of it and transform and have your emotional stuff brought up so you can actually deal with it. That's when the Pluto square Sun thing gets cut off. Whenever you're being crazy around each other, then whenever you're acting mean and all this garbage gets brought up and you're really being yourself, then when it gets to that point where it can be that breaking point and you go past that and deal with it, it gets cut off there, and then it's done. It's like you're not gonna do it. Sometimes that's what happens, and it's not every situation, but that's kind of like what the Pluto and Sun is like. So, but it brings up this stuff where you have a chance to deal with it or not. And the sun is your ego, so it's this power struggle between Pluto. Pluto also, it's Pluto wants to, especially with some conjunctions too. Pluto wants to control the person, wants to make them what they want them to be. Pluto and the sun can be that way too, the square or whatever. They wanna like sometimes like physically like just control where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, who or who they're not allowed to be with. Pluto, especially if you have Pluto square Mars in the mix, that's a crazy, 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 crazy one. I've had that with some people like where not never married or anything. I'm not married, but like where you're really possessive of the person, and the one or both don't want to let go of each other, and they want to control each other. Pluto square Mars isn't as common as the other ones for me. It's one of the ones where it's like Pluto square Mars or Uranus square Mars. Those are the ones you have to really watch out for. That can be really. I've never been physically abused by a guy, but those are the aspects where you can do that, where the girl can do that to a guy. Pluto square Mars has really screwed with my head and other people's. It's not just the guy that can be that way. Definitely, if you have your natal chart a certain way, if you have one aspect that has any certain amount of you having a temper, which I have one at least. I don't have all of them that you can have, but that's gonna add to it. And right now I'm not in any situation with anyone where I have Pluto square Mars, so this is from the past that I'm talking about. But anyway, now it's like kind of more my life. Now it's like fun, like Pluto-ish, Uranian kind of stuff, like but not crazy monster Pluto aspects happening where it's like it has been in the past, like Pluto square Mars, like you get so possessive of each other. You want to control everything that the other person is doing and who they're talking to. It's such a jealous aspect. It's ridiculous. It's not fun. Even if you think the person is worth it and you want to not give up on them, that can happen. I've definitely heard of people being in situations where they're, not breaking up or not getting a divorce, and they have these crazy things going on, and they want to work it out, but it's not fun. Pluto square Mars, that's not a fun aspect. I don't wish that upon anyone. It's a crazy aspect to have. It's ridiculous, and it's one of the more aspects that you don't want that one. Like a Pluto square Moon, that can be one of the more fun ones, which I've had with different people. But yeah, definitely Pluto square Mars. That's a really nasty, crazy one to have. You do not want that one. It's so Pluto and Mars is kind of like the same kind of things going on in square, tension aspect. That's just like two people in a big tug of war with each other. Who's gonna control who and who's gonna boss each other on? They both want to do that. Pluto's really like I said, wants to make sure that other person is, doing what they want them to do when they want them to, whatever. But like I said, it can go both ways. It definitely does. All of the aspects can go both ways. Pluto always has the upper hand in this situation. And there's been more than one situation where I've been the Pluto person. And it cracks me up, to be honest. How much guys are like, especially certain aspects. It's like there's Pluto's so manipulative, and like I said, it makes you do things you don't think you do. But anyway, it's crazy magnetic sexual attraction. It's very powerful, and so yeah. Anyway, it's hilarious to me, but anyway, so Pluto and Mars is a crazy aspect to have. Pluto and the Moon, that's one where the Moon person like gives up their power to the Pluto person. They're like, they are so, like 24/7 thinking of like what the Pluto person is, wondering what they're thinking or feeling, or wanting to make sure the Pluto person is happy, like, with what they're doing. And then that's when Pluto and the Moon can be, both people can be manipulative and can be like, all Pluto aspects can be like stockish. But yeah, the Moon is like really like wanting to breathe the way the Pluto person wants them to, and excuse me, I have allergies. I was sneezing today. I have allergies every day of my life. Anyway, yeah, the Moon really wants to please the Pluto person, and the Pluto person doesn't mind at all. They love that. So they won't argue with that. But yeah, Pluto and Venus, that's a really crazy one to have too. That's really, especially if it's like the Venus person. And the closer in degree, the more powerful this is gonna be. Sometimes there's certain kinds of aspects in synastry where some are more of an orb, like when a planet in a zodiac sign is from 0 to 30 degrees, and you have a certain aspect. The orb is, like when it's like a conjunction at 7 degrees, both the whatever planet and the other planet is both at 7 degrees, and the orb goes, let's say it's at 10 degrees, both at 10 degrees, a conjunction. Let's say the orb is a square, so you go count from 10 down to 0 that way, 8 degrees, and then from 10 up to 20, 8 degrees that way. That's an orb. That's that aspect. It's not just like a exact conjunction. It can be when one is 10 and one is, 5 or whatever. And all of the major aspects have some kind of a little bit of a, range of, whatever. The orb is both ways, But as the minor aspects, you kind of have to see which one is which, like the major, not the major, the more popular minor aspects have more of an orb, but the really, like the lesser known ones, it's like 1 degrees, because otherwise it's changing into another minor aspect, and so it's going to be different. So anyway, with these Pluto aspects, though, you gotta look at the degrees and see which one it is, because you can have an out of sign one, like I said, and then same kind of situation for that aspect is going to happen, just out of sign. But anyway, so in my studies of astrology, I've come across aspects where some astrologers say don't look at an aspect beyond whatever degrees with karma or something else, which, especially for karma, I do not agree with. Absolutely do not agree with. Ever. Like, it has to, for karma, sorry, this is beside the point. Karma has to be the same zodiac sign, but for Pluto it can be out of sign aspect. But so for the outer planets, the 3 outer planets, I'm still studying that more with, people, like seeing what's going on with different, synastry that I come across with myself and just with whoever's birth charts I'm studying. So that I can't quite say for sure. I could figure something out quick to tell you about some birth charts with me and some guys about my situations with people, but I don't know the degrees anymore. But especially with the moon, I've noticed where, like, I have a close square aspect with someone, and it's really the moon and Pluto. That's a strong aspect. All of the aspects are very strong. Especially, like I said, if it's closer in degree, the closest in degree it is, the more powerful and fruit loopy and Pluto it will get. And, like, you know, whatever Pluto is, it's gonna be that way, more intense. But so I'd say, I mean, you gotta be careful because then it can change into another major aspect if it's an outside thing. But I mean, even if it's 8 degrees, like a square aspect is, I think it's 8 degrees. The orb is. If it's 9 or 10, it's still gonna be, you know, like a square thing going on. With Jupiter and Saturn, definitely it's more than that. Like whatever it's, as long as it's the same zodiac sign, definitely. If it's square or conjunction, I'd say it could be this way depending on the people in the situation too, especially Pluto. If it's more than 15 degrees or 20, it's going to be a way lesser situation going on. Definitely with Jupiter and Saturn, it can be. It still can happen, but it's going to be way less intense. But definitely with Pluto, I'd say it can be too. Pluto is so powerful. It's crazy how much it can control people and make them do things they don't think they'd act like or do or whatever. But yeah, so it's what was I saying now? Yeah, of Venus and Pluto. I think, see, depends on how many Pluto aspects you have with someone, because, like I said, they're kind of all a little bit different, and kind of all Pluto-ish anyway, obviously. But Venus is love, and so that can be really stockish one too as well. But all of them can be. Okay, so anyway, I don't know. All of them definitely can be. If you. Okay, so anyway, I was just trying to think of specific examples of different aspects of what to tell you about. I don't have any Venus necessarily with anyone, but well, I do, but the what I was gonna say about being a stalker, it's not necessarily just Venus. It's any of them, definitely any of them, both ways too. But especially if you are the personal planet person, you could want to stalk that person for years, and they can be like done. Especially Pluto can. Pluto has the upper hand, so Pluto is the one that could break free from the situation more if they want to. They don't always want to because they love controlling. Pluto loves controlling, the situation, and the other planet does too. Definitely, they both can be, but without going into detail of my past, of not any current people right now in my life or any situations going on with synastry with anyone. Pluto in the past, for me, I currently have some people on Twitter or all social media blocked that I've had Pluto aspects with. I always have Pluto aspects with someone or another, but anyway, from the past that I'm done with, that I don't contact anymore, that I was a little sneaky and saw what was going on, whatever, just to see whatever, what the person was like, and it's really kind of like a Pluto-ish thing happening. They don't want to give up on stalking the person. It's like, really, like, for real, like, I'm done with it. I'm, whatever. But, like I said, anyone that I'm following on Twitter at the present moment while I'm making this video, this is not about. So don't have a heart attack if you ever watch this and think I'm talking about you. If I'm still following you on Twitter, this is not about you. In my past, people I've blocked. So anyway, yeah, Pluto really makes you stalk the person, makes the two people stalk each other, and it can be in a fun, okay way, it can be in a nasty way, it could be in a scary way, which I've never been in a scary situation with any guy, so I'm not talking from experience about the really scary things that happen that you see on TV or that you hear about in real life. I'm not talking from experience about those situations. Stalking people in person. No one's ever stalked me in person. Anyway, so yeah, the only thing I can comment is on a TV or whatever, just knowing about how people can be. So whenever there are stalkers on TV, like Law and Order, that's Pluto. That's a really guaranteed they have Pluto synastry. You're not going to want to stalk someone if you don't have some stalkish kind of aspect with them. It's not going to happen. Like, that astrology, synastry, the aspects is how you are around someone. And like I've said in my other videos, you are different around each person because your birth chart is different from everyone else's, and each person you come across has a different birth chart than the next person you come across, So you're going to have different synastry with each person, and some of the same aspects, but all kind of different situations, though, because all aspects aren't going to be the same as your synastry with one person, from the next person. Never going to be all the same. But yeah, definitely like I was saying, when you watch TV and some stuff and some that's Pluto. Especially it can go both ways. But from my experience, the little bit of from my past, like I was saying, that is not interesting, not fun, not current, not going on right now, not something I'm interested from my past, but from people that I'm not interacting with on Twitter. I'm sure it's Pluto that's making people, check up on people and see what they're up to, and it's Pluto is really a strong situation that can happen. And like I said, it makes you act in ways that you don't think you'd act or that you never have before. That's really important to get across to you in this video. It for real can make you do things that you have never done, that you don't think you do. Even if you are a Pluto-ish kind of person or a Scorpio-ish or 8th house kind of person, once you get with a certain person and you have a certain kind of aspect, especially like Pluto square Mars or something, it's gonna bring out that crazy in you. Like when you're around that person more than if you're around someone else and don't have that aspect, but you have a different one, or if you don't have Pluto aspects, it's gonna just really control you and make you turn into that situation with him, that person you are when you're around them. You're gonna, and it's like whenever you're around someone else and you don't have Pluto with them, and then whenever they see you, whenever the person that you don't have Pluto with sees you around that person you do have Pluto with, they're gonna be like, what is with you? Pluto or any kind of strong aspect in synastry is really noticeable. People are gonna notice it, and that's why I think people should learn astrology so they can really know who's a Pluto person, who's the personal planet person, or if you have a Pluto aspect both ways or something. Or if you have one aspect the one way and you have another Pluto aspect the other way or something. I really wish people would learn astrology because then they'd be like, oh, that person is acting that way because of that. It wasn't because I'm a catty girl and made up that I'm just, gonna pick on them and say the girl is doing whatever. And it's actually like a really real situation when Pluto is in the mix. It's like real Pluto things are happening. It's not some made up dream you're having. It's really real. So anyway, but yeah, this video is getting really long and I haven't covered every single aspect. I hope I did this enough justice because I'm going to end this video here because I don't want to get it too long of a video, but I'll make more Pluto videos in the near future and explain more about each aspect and stuff, and maybe put some details in there if I have forgotten anything. But basically that's what Pluto is like. Situation is the three, can't see the three difficult aspects, and that's a little bit about each one that I've noticed so far. But yeah, so anyway, feel free to leave comments if you want to. So stay tuned for more videos.